Ravens-Browns. I want to start with this one. No Deshaun Watson this one. He is out for the season with an Achilles tear. Jameis Winston starting this game. Ravens coming off a huge Monday night road victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Big sad for the two people who are co-hosting the show. All right, so what do you think the matchup that matters is here for this one, Carmen?
I'm going to go again with kind of more of an obvious one, but one that is going to shift this game one way or the other. And it's how the Cleveland linebacking core does against Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, because they are running the ball as expected at the best clip in the league. You got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, JOK. You've got Jordan Hicks now in Cleveland. They have to contain Lamar Jackson. And it's not just because of what they can gain on the ground, but it's what this offense can gain overall when you have the run game working so well. Lamar Jackson is really, really good off play action. 47 of 64, 635 yards this season, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And that is a huge component to what they want to do offensively to get some of those chunk plays. And it's something that is set up by the fact that they run the ball so well. So you have to respect it. Every time that he fakes the handoff, you have to treat it as if he could actually hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, because he does it so often. So this is something that completes their offense. It makes them so multidimensional. It makes them so hard to beat. And it's something that Lamar Jackson is so good at. Lamar Jackson currently, too, second in passing EPA. He's second in EPA per dropback. That is an incredible clip. What Lamar Jackson is doing right now can't be overstated. I mean, he won MVP last year, and he is playing better football than he played last year already through 7 weeks of the season. So this is something you have to be able to contain both of them. And I think containing them specifically is going to fall on those Cleveland linebackers, but it's going to be an entire multi-level defensive effort to try and stop this offense that is just rolling with Lamar, with Derrick, and under Todd Monken, who is unlocking all of this.
I mean, you are so right. Lamar is more efficient this year than he was last year, and that's terrifying because he came away with the most valuable player trophy last season. So anytime that a guy can even ascend above that level, you're talking about one of the best in the NFL, and it feels like Lamar is playing that way. My matchup that matters, going back to, I made a little joke about, the Ravens getting a big win down in Tampa, and that kind of being to our chagrin because you used to work for the Buccaneers. I used to cover them as a beat reporter for Pewter Report. When we were down there at the same time, Jameis Winston was the quarterback. And we know Jameis Winston's passing nature here. He likes to push the ball deep down the field. And I think that is now the matchup that matters in this one, because when you look at the contrast between what this Browns offense was with Deshaun Watson through the first 7 weeks and then what it might be with Jameis Winston, they are very different in that area. Browns, 5.3 yards per attempt average through the first 7 weeks. Just a 7.5 average depth of target. Jameis's career average, 7.7 yards per attempt and over 10 average depth of target. So this is just a different quarterback. Jameis is fearless when it comes to throwing the ball deep down the field. He doesn't even really care who his receivers are. Now, he had good ones when he was in Tampa, when he put up a lot of these numbers, with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Cam Brate, a lot of different wide receivers to throw and just receiving options to throw the ball to. But Jameis sort of is who he is when it comes to his play style. He's going to want to push the ball deep down the field. And so that alone is a very interesting part of this, particularly because, and I highlighted this last week, the Ravens have not been good at defending the deep ball this year. 29.6 coverage grade as a team when defending passes of 10 or more yards down the field. So the Browns are kind of in this position now with Ken Dorsey taking over as a play caller for Kevin Stefanski, where they're almost like, what do we have to lose at this point, right? Deshaun's gone for the season. The year's not going the way that we thought. We're not as strong of a football. Our offensive line, no longer a big strength of the team. It's almost like they're kind of playing with nothing to lose, and they're playing with house money here. So I think that with Jameis's nature here as a passer, it's just going to look so different than it has in the past. And it's going up against a matchup where they could really take advantage of that when it comes to passing it deep down the field. Who is your plus factor in this one?
It goes along with what we were talking about before, what I was talking about before, which is, again, just limiting this Ravens offense. And it's how Myles Garrett can affect or disrupt Lamar, even if he's not getting sacks, because Lamar can get himself out of pressure. Can you disrupt his timing, given how well Lamar Jackson is doing passing the ball down the field? Myles Garrett is the strength of this team. It's going to be very interesting to see if Cleveland ends up being maybe a seller in all of this. And, the rumors have started to swirl about what can you get for Myles Garrett. You can probably get a pretty good haul that's going to set you up in the future. But I mean, this is the guy that has the second best PFF pass rushing grade at 93. He's got 27 pressures so far this year, which is tied for 12th. And among edge defenders, tied for third again in pass rushing grade too. So this is one of those things where he's the elite guy, he's the strength. What can he do to really disrupt what Lamar is going to try to do? He's probably going to be going up against Ronnie Stanley on that offensive line. And the Ravens offensive line, I mean, we haven't really talked about it quite yet. And I think everybody doesn't really think about it because of the fact that Lamar Jackson can get himself out of some sticky situations given how mobile he is. But this is a really good offensive line. And it's one that we were concerned about coming into the season because it took some losses to free agency and otherwise. And now they are playing really good ball right now, whether that's blocking for Derrick Henry in the run game or whether that's protecting Lamar. It's one of the reasons why Lamar's passing numbers are up, and we need to kind of give some credence to that. So that specific matchup, maybe that could have been the matchup that matters too. There's a lot of matchups in this game.
No, there are absolutely. And I think that to your point, like moving Patrick McCarry from the right tackle spot, you move him inside, he's playing better as that left guard. You have Roger Rosengarten in there. So you liked him, drafting him in the third round, and now he's able to play along with this offensive line. And I think that's, to your point, it's a really good shout out because at the beginning of the year, the Ravens offensive line was really struggling. And now they've sort of shifted some players in and out, and it feels like this five that they have out there is the correct five in the correct order in the correct spots, and they're playing better than they have before. My plus factor in this one, I'm going to go with Denzel Ward because Ward had an elite coverage grade last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. He's got an elite coverage grade in single coverage situations overall this season. He is playing very, very well this year, and he'll have the chance to go up against Zay Flowers a lot in this game. Now, the reemergence of Mark Andrews in this offense to make the tight end weapons as deep and as dangerous as possible definitely goes into this. But Zay Flowers is still the top target player on this team. He is still the highest threat percentage when it comes to wide receiver usage. They are going to him all the time whenever they are passing the football. And so I think we're going to get quite a bit of Denzel Ward on Zay Flowers, and it's basically hey, strength on strength, your best guy against our best guy, who's going to come out on top. It's why I think that if they can, I don't want to say shut down Zay Flowers, but really limit Zay Flowers in this passing game, then all of a sudden your matchup that matters of, okay, the run defense and the linebacker matchup against Lamar Jackson and King Henry, that sort of becomes the true matchup that matters. And it's like, wow, okay, whoever wins that is going to win this football game, outside of the chats talking about, hey, Jameis can throw for 4 touchdowns. He can throw for 4 interceptions. You just don't know which version you're going to get from him. So sure. To me, Jameis Winston, the most entertaining ticket in sports, basically has been since he was been in the league. Yes. Now we're getting him to start a game again.
As long as you don't actually have skin in the game.
Right. And yeah, if you do, it's nervous as hell. And I don't recommend it. It's an emotional experience.